Hello, this is Devin Easterlin, and I'm part of your team here at SJA Property Management. First of all, let me say thank you for being a client of SJA Property Management. We really appreciate having you as a client and the trust that you've put in us to properly manage your property. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about insurance requirements. The first thing I'd like to bring up is you need to make sure that you have a landlord's policy in place rather than a homeowner's policy. Those are going to cover you against different risks, and if you're renting out that property, you definitely need a landlord's policy in place to make sure that you're properly covered. The second thing I want to go over is the two requirements that SJA Property Management has for all the properties that we manage. So the first is $1 million of liability coverage. We want to make sure you have $1 million of liability coverage should anything go wrong, your property covered. Now that would be a catastrophic event, but things do happen, fires, things like that. You want to make sure that you're properly covered. The second thing we required is to be named as an additional insured. So this is very common. I don't know of any other property management companies that don't have this requirement. And that requirement is that SJA be named on the insurance policy itself as an additional insured or a co-insured. That's different from an additional interest. We don't accept additional interest. It must be additional insured or co-insured on the policy itself. So that's very easy to do. Most companies do that at no additional cost. You do need to be careful. There are a few companies that don't have that ability to do that, and in those cases you would have to look to another provider to make sure you can get that proper coverage. And the reason that we have these two requirements is we want to make sure that you're properly covered and also SJA is properly covered should something go wrong. So an example of that would be if there was some bad wiring in a wall and something happens, well, that tenant's going to sue not only the property owner but the property management company. Even though we may not have known anything about the wiring, we're always going to be named. And we need the policy of the property owner to step in and insure us as well. It just has to do with our risk exposure and our insurance requirements. We also have corporate insurance of $2 million per incident, but we manage, say, 500 properties where things happen much more regularly than they would to the owner that only has one property. So if you have any questions on that at all, feel free to reach out to your property manager. They can go over that requirement. It's fairly simple. You can reach out to me as well. I'm happy to help with that. One other thing that's really nice, if we are named as an additional insured, when that policy expires, we can just request another one from the insurance company. So once we have that information, they'll send us updates and we'll make sure that you're continually properly insured. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate your time. We'll talk to you soon.